Good evening, everybody. We would like to discuss here the pharmaceutical business and the significance of the regulatory affairs in the pharmaceutical business. So, pharmaceutical business is an ever-growing industry with continuous growth and sustainable demand for the medicinal products that are being consumed by the human and livestock. As we have noticed in the past 2.5 decades time period, being versatile, we have noticed that there is a huge scope and opportunities for the skilled personnel in the pharmaceutical industry, especially in the regulatory affairs department. This is a white collar and crazy profession with a phenomenal demand and growth. Lot of scarcity is prevailed in the pharmaceutical market, which needs to be bridged with the right people in right places that deserves the jobs. As we understood the requirement, we at Intertech Labs, which is located in Hyderabad, southern part of India, would like to know all the pharmacists and chemists to know the significance and importance of the regulatory affairs profession and to acquire the skills to deliver the jobs effectively with adequate productivity. To deliver the regulatory affairs jobs effectively, desirable skills are needed which are supposed to be acquired by the aspirants. As we have observed and understood the desirable requirements and the gaps that are prevailed in the pharmaceutical industry, hence we thought of to create a platform to squeeze the gap and to bridge the gap by our value-added services. Based on the above thought process, in the year 2007, we have registered a training institute called Intertech Labs to deliver the value-added services to the students belong to the pharmaceutical fraternity. And the employees who are currently working in the industry, especially in the pharmaceuticals, it can be a bulk active pharmaceuticals, it can be a dosage formulation manufacturing unit, or a biologics that makes the vaccines and other protein-based products. So, to bridge the gap, as we understood the requirements in this segment, we have designed a course at Intertech Labs. The background of the Intertech Labs is, it is promoted by a lead promoter, myself, having an adequate experience of about 25 plus years of experience in the pharmaceutical formulations, bulk active pharmaceuticals and biologics. Since we understood the needs and the growing demand, a crispy, in-depth training curriculum was prepared to focus on the drug regulatory affairs in the areas of bulk actives, whether it is of synthetic origin or semi-synthetic origin or classical fermentation, and the pharmaceutical dosage forms that includes oral dosage forms, liquid oral dosage forms that include solids and liquids, parenterals and topicals like ointments, creams, lotions, etc. We have developed and designed a online and offline certification course in the regulatory affairs to understand various functionaries that are involved and the changing dynamics in the profession from time to time, based on the needs of the changing dynamics at the regulatory bodies throughout the globe. The course that we have developed is very much focused on the preparation of drug master files, dossiers, technical packages, and submission of applications and filing of variations in the post scenario of submission of the dossiers and drug master files, and variations and amendments to the regulated markets like USA and European Union, and submission of the post submission activities, for example annual updates to the submissions that are being submitted in the regulated markets like US FDA and European Union, etc. The lead promoter, myself, of this institute is a postgraduate in chemistry and postgraduate in law. I myself took the responsibility to fulfill the requirements and objectivities of the institute. To qualify myself as a faculty for the developed and designated course, we have reviewed various aspects in the industry and the gaps that are being prevailed, and time to time, since we are interacting with the regulatory auditors of various countries, especially from the regulated markets, we have made ourselves, tailor-made ourselves to meet the requirements. We have designed the course and the methodologies and tools that we are supposed to apply to make the participant understood about the objectivity of the regulatory affairs and the expectations that the managements have from the employees or maybe the students who will join as a trainees in the regulatory affairs department. Since I have about 25 plus years of experience in the pharmaceutical giant companies, especially Lupin and Biological, etc., we have understood the regulatory requirements precisely, and we have developed and designed the course accordingly so that the participant will get the benefit of this. The vast and versatile experience that we have gained in this area for last 2.5 decades will be transmitted and populated to the students depending upon the mode of training that they are going to receive. This is a choice for the students or the current employees working in the industries, whether to opt the choice of online or offline depends upon their convenience. The course curriculum does consist of 8 modules. These 8 modules are divided, broke up into time period based schedule, time period based modules depending upon the content and the matter that we are going to convey to the participants. Module 1, mainly it is designed to make the participant familiarization to the pharmaceutical industry and the profession, and to understand the requirements of the pharmaceutical industry and to get an overview precisely. Then they can able to fit themselves into the course. Module 2, mainly it is pertaining to the quality assurance. So there is a thin line between the quality assurance and the regulatory affairs to make the participant understood about the quality assurance. And moreover, the participants who have undergone this course, they can feel themselves they are suitable for the desirable jobs in the quality assurance. And since they are interdependent, the regulatory affairs and quality assurance and the dependency of collection of the documents from the quality assurance, we thought to make the participant understood the difference between the quality assurance and the dependency on the quality assurance department for the regulatory affairs professionals. We have added this as a module. Module 3 is, that is quality control, It is again an interdependent functionary for the regulatory affairs. So especially in the analytical method validations and the data that is to be processed from the quality control. So the regulatory affairs professional must know the background of the control and quality, then only he can submit the right submission. Hence this is also included. This is only quality assurance and quality control are being covered as an overview, precisely to make them understand. Module 4 is pertaining to the drug regulations in the United States of America. Since it is a regulated market, so one should understand, and there is a huge scope for the Indian manufacturers to get in. There is a good probability and opportunities for our participants to get their jobs in the companies who are mainly supplying the products and willing to supply the products or planning to supply the products by submitting the applications, drug master files, dossiers, etc. Module 5, regulatory systems and agencies in the European Union, and about ICH and World Health Organization. So the highly regulated market next to the United States of America is the European Union, where about 33 member states and national regulatory agencies are there, authorities. So who will receive the applications and the subsequent filings. So this is also an area where huge prosperity is involved for the Indian manufacturers. Hence the Indian manufacturers are concentrating on this market. And ICH, it is the basic regulatory tripartite federation that one should know about it, otherwise the guidelines for submission are published by ICH. Hence one should be regulatory affairs personnel should be familiar with the ICH guidelines. You need to understand this regulatory affairs functionally. And World Health Organization, WHO certification for COPP, Certificate of Pharmaceutical Products, is needed minimum to supply the products into the third world market, less regulated markets. Hence it is needed to be covered in this module. Module 6, a small industrial tour for about 4 days, 3 to 4 days in an API manufacturing company or finished dosage form manufacturing company, especially for the students to understand. So whatever we taught here, how it works, and the knowledge that the employees they have to deliver their jobs. Once it is being understood, a level of confidence, the confidence level will be boosted to the participants of our certification course. Module 7, practical exposure and the preparation of drug master files and abbreviated new drug applications. And the final module will talk about new drug applications, abbreviated new drug applications, and investigational new drug applications, and the technical dossiers that are being prepared and submitted for the regulatory affairs in the global market. This is the main objectivity of our institute. Whatever the knowledge that we have acquired during the period of past 25 years, we thought of to percolate to the current employees working in the industry and the students that are going to be a part of the industry in the regulatory affairs. This is the first hand information. This is not a theory that what we are going to teach here. This is the practical experience and exposure we got during the various submissions and in addressing the post-submission queries and the first-hand interaction with the regulators whenever they come for the auditors or whenever they review our files, so that this first-hand information will never get at any other institute. So we put before the people so that they can make use of it and take the advantage of the practical knowledge and experience we got, and we are going to percolate from our platform of Intertech Labs. You can contact Intertech Labs at Intertech Labs, INTRTECHLABS @gmail.com. Our URL website is under reconstruction, hence we have not quoted our URL address. And the contact phone numbers are 99595 22744. Alternative number 9246561965. If you have any queries, please contact us at the contact information given over here. Thank you.